start picking up on 1.3, and we are identifying the segment bisector of PQ, and then we're going to find the length of PQ. So what is cutting that segment in half? Is it a point, a line, or a ray? Or a segment? What is this? It is a, I heard it? A ray. It's a ray. Ray is cutting it in half. We're going to name that. The bisector is? And how would I name that ray? Does somebody feel confident? This is normally the one that's the most confusing. Can somebody try to name this ray? It's okay if you don't get it right. I just want you to try. Anybody want to try? M. And then what was my other one?
M.
Perfect. And then we put what on top?
Line guard.
Yep. So exactly right. Nice work. So it is a line on top with an arrow to denote array. Okay? And then we got to find the distance. So we're going to start there. But we're going to continue there. It's probably the best word for that. So once again, I'm going to write out that whole segment statement. Whole segment, part. Okay? So what is my whole segment's name? PQ equals PM. It's MQ, but you have it right. It just looks like a O. It's technically a Q because it has that little guy, but I know it's hard to tell because it's a weird looking Q. So you're fine. You did that perfect. There's one step we added in that's just a little bit different than we did the other day. Because it's been bisected, we say that these two are equal. So on the next step, I'm just going to say that PM is equal to MQ. So that's just the little step we add in. It just tells us that we know since it's been bisected, they have the same measure. And then there, we can just add in this down here. So we know the length of PM is 1 7/8. So we have equals 1 7/8 plus 1 7/8 because it's the same measure. I'm going to go get my calculator real quick. I did it on a quiz. This was just a crazy example problem. We're going to add those two together. Somebody have that? Gianna?
3.75.
It worked perfectly. It's really weird how beautiful that worked. It works out just to be that. 3.75. Thank you. Nice work. So we edited our notes to let MQ equal 3.5. Can somebody set up, well, actually, let's do this real quick. What is our bisector? Is it a point, a line, or a ray, or a segment? What's our bisector? Point M. So we're here. Does somebody want to try to write our statement? Cam?
PQ equals PM plus MQ.
Perfect. Our next step is the one that's just slightly different than what we've done before. What's our next step? Somebody remember? Cam?
Don't you make PM and MQ equal?
Exactly right. And again, we know this because it's been bisected. So since it said it was bisected, we know they're equal measure. And now that we know they're the same measure, we can put in our numbers. So we're going to have 3.5 plus 3.5. Yep. That's perfect. It's 7. I'm going to rewrite that 7 because it kind of looks like a 2. 7. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit different on how I'm going to set it up. We're not asking for what the whole length is, right? We're asking us to find the value. Oh, we are asking ultimately what just this length is. But they want us to find what this length is. We could do the same thing where we set it up that way, but there's a slightly quicker way. The quicker way is that we know that these two parts are equal, and therefore we can just jump to letting them be equal. So we're going to say that BM equals MW. Okay, so this is slightly different than what we've done before. We have two parts that we know are equal, and we're just letting them be equal. Now I'm going to insert what I know. I know that VM is 4x minus 1, and we know that MW is 3x plus 3. Okay, so I just want to recap. Because it's been bisected, we know they're two equal measures. Because they're two equal measures, we can let them be equal to each other. Then we substitute in what we have, and now we have an algebra equation. I know last year was a while ago, but we're going to review some of these topics for us. We need to get like terms together. Like terms are variables, like terms are constants. Constants are things without variables. So, what do you want to move first? There's multiple options. Ken?
Move 3x.
Okay, so we're going to move 3x. How am I going to move it? Somebody want to tell me? Cam?
Subtract 3x on both sides.
Subtract 3x on both sides. Okay, we get x minus 1 equals 3. Yep, you want to tell me what I'm going to do next?
Do plus 1 on both sides.
Add 1 to both sides. X equals 4. But you would think we're... So from there, I'm going to take, we know that VM, I'm going to go here. VM, that's not a V or an M. VM equals 4x minus 1. We know our value of x is 4, so that's going to be 4 times 4 minus 1. What's 4 times 4? 16 minus 1? 15. So we have VM equals 15. So who would like to tell me what the bisector is? This one's a little trickier. Yep.
Line L.
Sorry, she's still here. But you have it right though, line L. Perfect, nice work. Okay, so it is line L. This one was trickier because it is just naming it by the line. Mac did that perfect. So, notice it's line L. It tells you that there's a point M, but M is just representative on the midpoint. If you were going to identify the line or the bisector, you'd have to say line L. It's the only way we'd be able to name it because there's not 2 points. L is the name. So nice work. Okay, so then we're going to say that our two parts are equal. So we have what? I see you all sitting there thinking, man, I wish she'd call on me. So who would like to volunteer? Okay. I won't make any of you guys volunteer this early. So we're saying the two parts are equal. So we'd say that PM is equal to MQ. Because it has been bisected. Bisected tells us it's two equal parts. So now we have to put in what we know. I have 5x minus 3 equals 11 minus 2x. Okay? We got to combine like terms. Like terms are things with variables and constants. Constants are things without the x. Who would like to tell me what to do first? Multiple options. Cam?
Do plus 3.
Plus 3. Jalen, you want to go next? Or no? You don't have to.
Plus
We're going to add 2x to both sides. Okay. 7x equals 14. We got to get x by itself. We're going to divide. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Nice job. But that's not what it's asking for. It's asking for MQ. So I have to remember to go back up here. We know that MQ equals 11 minus 2x. That gives me 11 minus 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? That's right, it's 4. 11 minus 4 is 7. 7 is one of my favorite numbers. It's beautiful. Our bisector is line N. Okay, now we got to set up our equal statement. Who would like to try to do that? Gianna?
RM equals MS.
MS. Nice work. Okay, we're going to substitute in what we have. I'm going to go ahead and do that. 4x plus 3 equals 6x minus 12. We're going to combine like terms. Like terms are things with variables and things without variables, the constant terms. What am I going to move first? Multiple things we can move. Okay, we're going to go with Cam.
Plus 12.
Plus 12. He's doing the opposite operation. Since it's subtraction, he's adding. We get 4x plus 15 equals 6x. Okay. Yep, Cam.
Do -4x.
Minus 4x. We end up with, I'm going to go up top because I don't have enough space. We end up with 15 equals 2x. We divide by 2. Nice work. X equals, you can leave it as 15 divided by 2, or you can see it as the decimal, which is 7.5. Okay, this one says, though, what is the distance from R to S? We're finding this whole thing. So if we're finding the whole thing, oh, I feel so bad doing this. Picking between you two. You guys are volunteering so much. Okay, we'll go Gianna first.
Wouldn't we just add 7.5?
Yep, we'd have 7.5 plus 7.5. That gives me that, let me write that right here real quick. That gives me RS. I wrote that at the wrong spot, so let me try that again. RS. Okay, Cam, do you have that value?
15.
15. Nice work, guys. Here, he just told us, if you put this into your calculator, that you're going to get 33. And then he also told us the total, RS equals that 33 twice, 33 plus 33, and he told us that was 66. Nice work. Again, I apologize for that, guys. I got the X value, and I felt like I was done, but instead I needed to plug it into one of these two equations. It did not matter which one. You would have gotten 33 either way, and then go from there. Midpoint formula. The words that go with it are the coordinate of the midpoint of the segment, are the averages of the x coordinates, and the averages of the y coordinates of the endpoints. The symbols for it are x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Remember that it's x and then y. If this is something you're still struggling with, I told you guys graphing was really hard on the quiz. Make sure that you remember that it's alphabetical, X, Y, Z. So X comes first and then Y. So we're here. Find the endpoints of RS. So we have a segment, RS, and the endpoints are 1, -3, and 4, 2. Find the midpoint. So we're here. We're going to find that midpoint. I need to switch my slides so that way I'm on the right page. So we take our x coordinates, our x go first. So we have 1 and 4. I'm going to write it out. Our formula is x1 plus x2. x1 plus x2 divided by 2. y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And then we have 1 plus 4 divided by 2. And then we have to do our y's. That's going to be -3. I needed to write that differently, sorry. Nope, I keep doing the wrong thing. -3 plus 2 divided by 2. So again, I just took the x coordinates, the first one in each set of parentheses, 1 and 4. I added them together and I divided it by 2. And then I take my y coordinates, -3 and 2. I add them together and I divide by 2. So I have 1 plus 4 is 5, thank you. So 5 divided by 2, comma, -3 plus 2. I know negatives can be tricky. Yep, -1, half. It's divided by 2. So that's what this is looking for. You take the x coordinates, add them together. You take the y coordinates, you add them together, divide both of them by 2, and now you have the midpoint. So if you were to graph this point would be directly in the middle of that line. It's the midpoint. We're going to do the second one. We have J, K. But this one is different. The wording is different. I need you guys to notice this. Okay? So we have M is the midpoint. We have the midpoint. Okay? So when you have a midpoint, make sure you're referencing this problem. So we have our midpoint being 2, 1, which equals, and then you do your x1, x2, but we only know one of our endpoints. We only know J. We don't know K. K is what they're asking me to find. So this one's a little bit more algebra. So we're still going to use this. My x value is 1. My x2 value is unknown, so I'm just going to leave a variable there. And we're still dividing by 2. Then we have our y value, 4, plus y2 divided by 2. Are you guys okay with how we got here? Okay. So again, midpoint's out to the side because we already know the midpoint. We're finding an endpoint. We create these equations. Now we're going to break them up into 2 different equations. We're going to take the x's and set them equal to our x value. And we're going to take our y's and we're going to set them equal to our y value. So I'm going to create 2 equations. I'm going to try to write a little bit smaller so that way I don't have to use up all my space. So I have 2 equals 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2. And then over here, I have 1 equals 4 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. We need to get our x2 by itself. What do I have to do first? Cam, hun, were you raising your hand? Okay, I just wasn't sure if I was missing you. From where I stand, it's hard to see it because you're completely blocked. Anybody want to tell me? So we're using PEMDAS. So as we go through, parentheses, no. Exponents, no. Do we have multiplication or division? Yes. We have, real quick, we have fraction bar means division. Division, but we have to multiply. I get what you're saying. Okay. So it means division. So he was telling us that we have to multiply. You're correct. I'm going to multiply each side by 2. I'm showing it in a different color so you can see what's happening. I have 2 times 2 on my left-hand side, which is 4. Perfect. Equals. And this was the error I saw when you guys were doing, I think it was 1.2 homework. I think it was the 1.2. 2 on top and 2 on bottom. You're doing that exactly right to cancel it. It takes them away because 2 divided by 2 is equivalent to 1. So we have this to be 1, and so it just goes away. That's the whole point of us doing the multiplication by 2 is to get rid of that. So I'm left with just 1 plus x2. I need to get that x2 by itself. What do I got to do? Subtract 1. We get 3 equals x2. Now we got to do it all over again for the y. So again, what do we have happening? We have division. Opposite of division is? Yep, so we're going to multiply each side by 2. Our 2's go away on one side, on our right side, because it's equivalent to 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. On my left-hand side, I have 2 times 1, which is? Perfect. 4 plus y2. I need to get y2 by itself. Yep, I'm going to subtract that 4. 2 minus 4. I heard somebody say it. Yep, Camille. That's perfect. Nice work. -2. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to write our coordinate point for K. So K is 3, -2. And that's your answer. I know this one is harder than the other one. We will be doing these. This one, make sure that you start this problem so you can come back and look at it when you're doing other problems like this. We have 4 more examples like these, and we're going to work through them now. But I just want to make sure you see these are the 2 types. You have the endpoints and you're finding the midpoint. You have the midpoint and you're finding an endpoint. So just make sure that you see that those are the 2 types that we deal with. Are you ready for me to go on? Okay. I'll give you a second to. So here we said the endpoints of A, B are A, 1, 2, and B, 7, 8. Find the midpoint. So this is like our first question, question 1, our A of this group. So we had to find our midpoint, and we do that by doing our X value. Let me change to a marker. X value. Our first X value is 1, plus our second X value, which is 7, and we divide by 2. Then we do our Y value. Our Y value is our second value, 2 plus 8 divided by 2. Okay, what's 1 plus 7? 8 divided by 2? 4, nice work. 2 plus 8? 10 divided by 2? Perfect. Our midpoint is 4, 5. Okay, so they told us that we have to do our X coordinates added together and then divide by 2. Our Y coordinates added together, divide by 2. I know that negatives can be tricky. Negative 4 plus negative 6. What's negative 4 plus negative 6? Yep, Cam? Negative 10, perfect. Divided by 2? Negative 5. If you need to use a calculator for that, there's no shame in that. Use it. Be sure that you feel confident in your answer. 5 plus 3. 8, yep. 8 divided by 2? 4, nice work. Negative 5, 4. We're going to get started. It tells us the midpoint. So this is like question or part B. So we have 2, 4. We set it equal to. What do I do here? You guys remember, Mac?
It'd be the x plus x with the little 2
Yep. Over.
over 2.
And then we have our other one.
Y plus y little 2 over 2.
Perfect. Now we can substitute in what we know. I wrote giant, and I apologize for that. Here we know that our x1 is going to be 1. So we have 1 plus x2 divided by 2. 1 plus y2 divided by 2. If you guys just did y or y1, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Okay. We are now going to take them and set them equal. So we have 2 equals 1 plus x divided by 2. And we have 4 equals 1 plus y2 divided by 2. What do I have to do first? Multiply by 2. I have 4 equals 1 plus x2. And then I have to subtract 1. What's my x value? Yep, x2 equals 3. Over here, we're going to do the same thing, multiply by 2. That gives me, I'm going to come up a little bit, 8 equals 1 plus y2. These two canceled. We're going to subtract 1. 7 equals y sub 2. That 2 should be down lower. Ooh, that went away too fast. Okay. Okay. So my coordinate point is 3, 7. We will pick up here tomorrow.